Ladies and gentlemen of the crypto space, we're live on a Friday, June 11th at 11:47 a.m. and it's time to figure out what the heck we're going to do. When I say this, I'm talking to you guys about stuff that you're going to do because I'm thinking about what the heck I'm going to do. I only have a certain amount of time. I got stuff I got to do. I get off this call and I got work to do with whatever companies I'm working for. Do I have time to do things with regard to capital? Do I have interest in preserving dollar valuations? Or what is the goal? What is the point? What are we thinking? What is the thought process to make the best decisions possible? These are very important questions. You'll see folks on Twitter like, I'm going to stable up, I'm going to sell my assets and buy stable coins. So if you sell your assets to stable coins, that means you have to look at the damn market because the whole purpose of selling assets to buy stable coins is to buy back the assets at some point when they're cheaper, which means you have to be looking at the charts. You have to understand technicals. You want to buy the bottom. I don't have time for that. I got a whole tab up here for charts, and I watch the charts, but what I'm trying to retrain myself is to think of that as entertainment. And I'm trying to reinforce the conviction I have that the status quo system sucks. It's run by old people. Now, I don't have a problem with old people. I have a problem with old people that think wrong and old people that want to run our lives and do things the way they did them. Now, the system is what it is because the old people made it the way it is, and they're making decisions the way they think are the best. And I'm not satisfied with that. In no way, shape, or form am I satisfied with the way the financial system is, the choices and actions of politicians. I can't stand Democrats and Republicans. I can't stand what happened last year. I can't stand the way these politicians talk about us, about our generation, meaning millennials and Gen Z. They don't have a vision for the future. It is not their country. It is our country. It is our time. And we think differently. We are not them. We are not our parents. We are not our grandparents. We don't want to sit back and allow the mistakes that they made be the mistakes that we make. We know that there's new technology. We know that technology is the future. We know that technology causes change, iteration, enhancement, evolution. There is no future saving dollars in a bank account. There is no future trying to play the gamble market, the stock market, the securities markets. It's gambling. You might as well go to the stupid casino. Where am I going to allocate my value? Am I going to allocate my value to a casino? Do I think the crypto market is less or more of a casino as compared to the stock market? I sure as heck think it is less of a casino. Putting your capital in securities, a casino, based on companies that have borrowed debt. They're barely solvent. They have debt and capital on their balance sheet. That is not the way I would operate a business because I talk on my stream about how I would operate a business, putting debt and principal to work as working capital. And they are overloaded with debt, and all they do is issue bonds, and the fucking government is buying their bonds. There is nothing about legacy finance that I remotely find palatable. And these companies proceed, they have their stock, they issue shares, and people buy them. There's nothing that I think is sustainable in the long term. There's nothing that I find interesting about deploying my capital to such assets, to these securities that are representative of companies that we interact with on a daily basis, that we love and behold because they provide us goods and services. But I don't think my capital is best suited to own their securities because what do we deal with in the crypto space? We're applying capital to assets that work for us. If you buy a share of Amazon, what the fuck is that share doing for you? It's doing nothing. It's doing nothing. You buy a share of a stock because you hope some schmuck is going to buy it for more money. And then you sell it to them for more money. And these old people have the balls to complain when we do that with crypto assets, saying it's too speculative. It's the same thing. Now, this is basically a very angry video, and because I think we're all angry. And this might not be the content that everyone wants to hear, but I think it's the content that represents the way a lot of people feel. We deserve the right to be able to manage our capital the way we want to be able to expose ourselves to opportunity that best represent the way we view the markets. We deserve the right to use our capital to make capital. We deserve the right to be financially free so that we could work and do what we want to do. Do you think I want to think about finances when I'm thinking about work? I don't want to think about the salary I make when I'm working. I want to think about the work, and I want to do the work I do because I enjoy it. The financial system that these old people created have made a burden on people like me, the engineer who wants to build technology to make the world a better place. But they have placed around that process of work financial obligations, financial requirements. I need to work to make money. No, I want to work because I want to work. I am not lazy. I am the antithesis of lazy. So when I see this whole pandemic shit and people can't earn working and they're sitting back collecting more money from unemployment, that's fucking pathetic. Go to work because you enjoy work. If you don't enjoy the work you're doing, find the work that you enjoy. But the problem is these fucking old people have not facilitated the proper means of allowing people to find the work that they enjoy. So the vast majority of society is forced to work doing things they don't enjoy. That is the failure of society. That is the failure of society. The decoupling of the education system. Fine, if politics wants to be authoritarian and the Republicans and the Democrats want to be the nanny state and give us rules and regulations and help us be a better people. Fucking A, help people find work that they find enjoying. Help people find purpose and meaning to their life. It's a suicide epidemic in the country. And they think they're helping us by printing money and saying, hey, good luck, guys. Good luck, general population. Go to work at fucking McDonald's flipping burgers. Yeah, you know, you probably be depressed while you're doing it, but that's not our problem. No, that is our problem as a society. The work that we do should be fulfilling, have meaning, should be satisfying and exciting, and give us purpose. That would be a great way for a government to operate, facilitate purpose and meaning in people's lives, and not let people fend for themselves. Because people don't know. That's probably a big issue. People don't know how not to be depressed. People don't know that literally depression is probably facilitated in most part. Obviously, there's chemical imbalances and biological issues, but in most part, depression is because every fucking day you wake up and you go into a stupid job that sucks. Because if you're doing something that's interesting, if you're providing for your family and your family is happy and content and the work that you do is awesome and exciting, you're not depressed. So I blame these old people, these old politicians that don't have a big picture in mind. They're short sighted. Maybe they're lacking intellectual capacity. Maybe they're dumb. Maybe the wrong people are in politics. Maybe humans have no business being in politics and we should have a DAO like we've been experimenting with for the last year and a half in the crypto space where the general public can be provided with, it's super cheap ledger type device that only has an Ethereum wallet, and they could vote on a DAO. You could literally ask 1,000 developers to spin up a quick DAO where the politicians or whatever, we could craft a system where votes can be placed on a DAO, and then everyone with the social security number is provided with a voting device. They plug it into their USB port. Do I have my keys? Yes, I have my keys. Look, this is a U2F device. It has a button on it. Do you see this? It has a button on it. So an old person even, goes to a website, they open up the vote, they read the vote, and then they have a button, yes or no. And the old person, you can imagine an old person with the USB connected. Honey, I like this vote. These kids are thinking right. I'm going to vote on it. And they press the button. It seems so obvious to us, the people that have been in DeFi for a year and a half. That's so easy, even an old person can do it. Honey, I like this vote. I like these kids. It's all right time with this country. Let me answer some questions. This was a hell of an angry intro. Rationale for remaining exposed to depreciation. I'm going to show you my rationale for being exposed to depreciation. I don't need the money that I have in the crypto space. I work, I have a job. I enjoy the work I do. I absolutely love the company that I'm currently working for. And I'm able to make my ends meet. Am I wealthy because of the compensation the company I work for is paying me? No. Am I wealthy because of the activities I've engaged in the crypto space? Yes. Do I mind if that wealth gets cut in half? No. Because the value that I've allocated to the assets that I've chosen, I have long term conviction in, because the projects that I've allocated value to make the system, the securities market, the companies, the financial rails, the money network seemed pathetic, absolutely pathetic. So I have placed my value correctly, and it's just a matter of time. Curve is the shit. Every goddamn member of that team, the algorithms are impressive. The logic and reason that go into those algorithms is downright genius. That's what I want to apply my capital to. That fucking algorithm they released with Curve V2. That's exciting stuff. Terry, executive summary. The shit that Amazon's doing, I don't give a fuck if they launch a pharmaceuticals business. That is not exciting nor interesting. But that is some serious technological next level shit, that algorithm that Curve V2 came up with. Uniswap V3 is some technologically disruptive stuff. I think there's opportunity cost associated with value allocated towards that asset. I think there's more opportunity with Curve, but that's my personal choice. But these are some exciting ways to allocate value. So I don't care if it's depreciating. I know where this speculative value is best allocated. And it sure as hell isn't to some stupid security for a company that's borrowing hundreds of billions of dollars from the general public and the government, vis-a-vis the bond mechanism, which ends up being bought by the government anyway, because when the bonds go tits up because nobody wants to buy them, the government's going to have to buy them, otherwise the entire system goes tits up. Damn it. Rationale for remaining exposed to depreciation. Today's episode is sponsored by Change Angel, the non-custodial swap exchange for social good. Stop depositing on exchanges, not your keys, not your crypto, non-custodial DeFi, or nothing at all. Yeah, I have to smile after that entire rant. So I was mentioning Terry's mess. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm done with this. I would say I want to get into politics, but I don't think there should be politicians. We don't technologically need these fuckers anymore. They have been deprecated by technology where the general public can vote. And the bills and the legislation need to be humanly readable so mom and dad can vote on the bill. And then all you cut out half the damn employment of the stupid country. You save a fortune, and now you literally have people where their entire job is to execute what was voted on and to spend as less money as possible. So us paying taxes aren't wasting our money on stupid old people in Congress talking all day long and filibustering by the rules of the House or the Senate and wasting our time. I know in engineering, when I'm thinking of a story and it takes 3, 5 points to execute, time is money. So every second of every day that some old person is on the floor of the Senate talking, that is a waste of money. Get to the vote. Let the people vote. It's our turn. It's our time. I'm going to run through the comments and stop yelling. But I'm going to keep this up, Terry. Right now, that's me. And I think I speak for a lot of people. I'm not okay. I'm not happy. I'm not content with the way these old people are running the country. I'm not okay with what happened last year. That's not the way people treat each other. We have different opinions, but we all get along because we're supposed to, because we're all the same. We all want to help our families. We all want to help ourselves. We all want to work and do the things we want to do. So that stupid division that happened last year, divided by what? Pathetic political parties who shouldn't even have jobs in the first place? Stupid. Stupid. Ridiculous. Waste of time that caused people to die at the beginning of this year. What a tragedy. The tragedy isn't who's better or who's right or who's wrong, the Republicans or the Democrats. The tragedy is that's stupid. The tragedy is we're all the same people. And we all want to pay mom and dad's mortgage. We all want to pay our mortgage. We all want to put our kids in a good school where teachers care about them. We all want our families protected. Anyway. Let me answer some questions and maybe provide some insight and then help you guys navigate the crypto space, which is our only hope right now. Because politics isn't going to change. The legacy financial system is so pathetic. Nobody in their right mind should be buying securities. Bonds pay no interest. 1%. What the fuck am I going to do with 1%? Cash gets burned. Can't put cash in a bank account. The only logical place to deploy capital is the crypto space. Take that, old people. Yo, Tam, love your vids. Literally, I'm starting with the first comment. Hickam, hello, mate. Whiskey, sup, Noah. Derek, my thoughts exactly. My mind is on the matter. Kyle, at what point is it better yield on curve versus urine? It depends. Urine is auto compounded. Curve is giving emissions denominated in curve. In which case, if you have a large curve position, sure, you could deploy directly to curve. But otherwise, even I'm deploying to convex at this point. I have a problem with old people that have lied to me. They all have. All of them have. Every single congressman, every single representative or senator. They shouldn't be talking. They don't know young people. They're not young people. They don't know what we're thinking. They do not know what we foresee for the future. They know what they foresee for the future, but they are not us. Therefore, they do not represent us. Ding dong. Good day, Noah. I put curve into convex and moved to liquidity from curve to convex, where the words rewards seem higher. But what is the design behind this? Convex for the novice and curve for the big player. I'm a moderate player, and I opt for curve, my friend. Whiskey sour, heck yeah, Hickam. How much? Yeah, there's a lot on iron. So I'm a little skeptical about iron. I was digging into it. Titan seems to be they seem to be converting a lot of the USDC that's used as collateral to maintain the iron peg into Titan. So it might work, but you must have a very high risk tolerance, in my opinion, to be applied to their programmatic stablecoin. Speculatively, it's intriguing. Technologically, it's a good experiment. Am I going to allocate a significant amount of value and find out in the process? No. Kenji's in the house. FM Alexander, do you think Curve token is undervalued significantly? Wave Mappers, happy Friday, Noah. Always a pleasure. Kenji, Boomer's gonna get wrecked, but my man. Oh my God, I missed a lot of comments, but I'm gonna hit them all. Squanchy likes angry Noah. Vitrelle, preach. Take him to church. Sorry if I said your name wrong. James, I know I'm angry. Legacy systems are obsolete. Crypto HSK, what do you think about the Biden thing happening soon? Listen, here's the deal. Democrats are about to spend trillions of dollars for a good reason. They want to build shit. Our infrastructure is pathetic. The technology deployed is pathetic. Our energy system is pathetic. Why the fuck are we using coal? Why are you nuclear? Fine. From an engineering perspective, you build some serious tech and you make it really, really safe. Great. That sounds great. But it sounds, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like over engineering. I'm a software dev. That sounds like over engineering. Why the hell are you going to build some super duper complicated system when you can put up a bunch of solar panels in the desert and power the whole fucking country? Because some boomers have jobs at a power company? I'm tired of supporting these old people. I'm tired of supporting the old generation. I'm tired of supporting the fact that they can't learn, they can't go to school, they can't be trained. They need to keep the coal power plant open because they need to dig the coal and put it in the plant because they need their jobs. No, the fucking power company should be training these people to service solar panels and transform this country. Because it's the right thing to do. It's more efficient. It's better energy. It's good for us and it's good for the next generation. I'm tired of these people. Brian, change it up. Mark, Noah for president. You get my vote. Thank you. Maybe. Whiskey, but being fair, they're highly influenced. Yeah, influence. People could be influenced my ass. I don't care. I'm tired of them. Wave, you're right on point. My level of depression each day is drastically reduced after leaving my old job and starting a new one because you're doing what you want, or at least your new job is compensating you more fairly. But we have to do what we want to do. You have to stand up for yourself and do what's right. And I've done that in many companies. I've left many companies. I've walked out of many companies, just walked out. Maybe even I've interviewed while I'm working at a company. You know how many times I've done that? I'm discontent with the company I'm interviewing. I'm taking 10 interviews a week. One company that I was at, I was literally going into the office in the back and taking like 20 interviews a day. You do what's right for you. You stand up for yourself because no one else is going to stand up for you. And you have to do that for yourself financially as well. Take control of this shit. Yo, Tam, against the American dream. People need to hear it like this. Sam, informed democracy would require pretty much all conversation to center around voting and politics. I don't know. I'm not a political scholar, but all I know is if I had a website that had a bunch of pages, that had a bunch of words, I could read the words and make a choice. I am competent enough to pretty much read anything, whether it's tax documentation, whether it's a value allocation, a political choice. Just make it simple and I can make choices. I'm pretty good at making choices. I'm pretty sure the vast majority of the general public is good at making choices, and the art is crafting the documentation such that anyone could understand it and make a choice. Every human being is capable of making a choice. If the documentation that's going into legislation that's being passed by the House of Representatives, the Senate, and being put on the president's desk is too complicated for the general public to understand, they have failed. The policy has failed. It's called over engineering in the software world. It's over engineered. Any good policy should be simple. I have a methodology when I talk about software development. If it's complicated, stop and make it simple. That is a guiding principle that I have executed for the better part of a decade, and it has produced some serious quality software. If it's complicated, stop and make it simple. Jackson, have you been liquidating your yield for any assets? Well, I've been accumulating curve. I'm been more curve, more coin, more coin. I have a convex position at this point. I've paired it with Ethereum. The yield's like 167%. And we're going to get some sushi yield on top of it later today, probably right about now, actually, when the contract gets upgraded. So I think I'm going to retain a convex position, and this is perfect for the title of the stream. Do you hold a position that's depreciating? Convex is down a lot. It was at 20 bucks. But my yield position is cranking out revenue. And it's not the majority of my portfolio, it's a minority of my portfolio. The revenue is more important than the principal. I don't care if the revenue gets cut in half. It's not cut in half because it's paired with Ethereum. So the Ethereum is providing the denominator stabilization effect that I talk about with pool pairings, balanced pool pairings. So I haven't lost 50% of the capital. But even if I lost 50% of the capital, do I care? What I care about is that I have assets, and my assets are working. They're generating revenue. They're generating a salary that I'm able to use to boost my overall income. I have assets working for me. I can't do that in legacy finance. I'm not going to buy this government's pathetic bonds, 130% debt to GDP. They're failed. They have failed our generation. They have failed my generation. They have failed Gen Z. They have failed the next generation because the country is not set up politically or financially or technology to best serve the next generation. They're a bunch of failures. Heisenberg, how long before the yield farms paying high APR initially started reducing them drastically? It doesn't work like that. Um, incentivized yield is based on monetary policy. So as more liquidity enters a pool position, it's going to get diluted. Base APY, which is APY based on transaction fees, sure, will get diluted based on inflow of capital. But the base APY is transaction fees. So if a pool gets significantly more transactions, and in theory, as the digital financial system expands, there's going to be significantly more transactions, which means the base APY is going to go up. And depending on the amount of liquidity flowing into the position, it may or may not outperform with regard to dilution considerations. But I expect incentivized emissions to be diluted, and I expect base APY to fight against dilution, proportional or inversely proportional to the amount of liquidity inflow into the pool position. Robert, what's up? No, I did it. I'm staking in CVX, CRV. Now, I like CVX. It's relatively new protocol, but there's something about it that I really that hits my fancy because they're tied in with Curve, and Curve means a lot, in my opinion. They've done the concentrated liquidity implementation that's infinitely readjusted, which means infinite concentrated liquidity. So it's basically Uniswap v3 passive, passive Uniswap v3, whereas Uniswap v3 is active and requires third parties to facilitate the strategies, which is explicitly what Hayden Adams said, and that's not a problem, and that's fine. But I really like that my passive infinite liquidity strategy is facilitated by the core team of Curve, whereas the passive infinite liquidity strategy will not be facilitated by Uniswap, but has to be facilitated by third party providers. Listen, they both contribute to the overall robustness of the digital financial system. Uh, cool. I like them both. What I like about Curve and why I don't have any interest and I feel there's opportunity costs associated with the Uniswap position is that Curve facilitates revenue share. Owning them is owning a forex market. Owning them is owning a dividend-bearing instrument. Owning that's variable depending on the amount of transaction volume going through the platform. So if the platform gets 100x, 1000x in transaction volume in the next 5 to 10 years, you're going to have a significant amount of recurring revenue stream because 2.02% of all transactions are directed towards VECRV lockers, whether it's VECRV directly or CVXCRV or YVECRV. Yeah, Hickam, the iron's hot. Um, I've seen that as well. Now, um, too much of a risk profile for my taste. Does the amount of capital that's been deployed to it interesting and warrant attention? I would say yes. I would dig into the protocol, maybe speculatively deploy a little bit of capital. But it's just I would rather wait. I would rather wait 6 months. I would rather wait a year I'll miss out. I don't care if I miss out. I'm not going to be no guinea pig, and that's my sentiment. Lisa, can you comment on euro stablecoins on Curve Europool? I'd love to provide liquidity in euros so I can avoid constant flip flopping USD euro forex rates. Interesting. Um, do we expect the dollar to be bullish or bearish? So unfortunately, if you're going to deploy euro stablecoins, you're going to be exposed to euro pricing relative to the dollar valuation. So, I mean, dollar bulls, the dollar bulls, the folks that think they're deflationists and think all risk assets going to get destroyed and the dollar is going to go to 100, 125, 100, just through the roof. And in that instance, the relative value of the euro, in turn, the relative value of euro stablecoins gets destroyed. Unfortunately, that's something to consider. Leonardo, did you check out Harmony ecosystem? So Harmony One's cool. Uh, has the same economic tokenomic, but lacks a platform like Aave. So that means it's missing money market. The first and foremost critical component of a successful financial system is a money market that achieves critical mass liquidity. Subsequently, critical mass liquidity encourages development of DApps. Development of DApps drives the inflow of a user base that want to capitalize along with the developers on the amount of critical liquidity that's in the system. And once the users come in and they start borrowing and lending from the money market, that's a money creation process according to double entry accounting standards, which facilitates critical mass monetary velocity. Critical mass monetary velocity is best thought of analogous to the starting of an engine. Once it starts running, it just grows. It is a self-sustaining process, and it's basically the foundation of how we measure a successful monetary network. And it's why, M2 Fred on the US dollar is pretty pathetic. It's basically a dying financial system. Change it up. I want more of this, Noah. What's your take on the World Economic Forum? It seems like they're influencing government. Yeah, well, old people are going to try and run things the way they think they should be run. And I don't know how things will play out. I know that old people are probably going to be defensive of what they have and defensive of their influence and power to dictate policy and do things the way they think things should be done. But what I know is young people are smart, and not that old people have a disadvantage. In fact, they have an advantage because of experience. But there's something that seems a bit repressive and hostile towards youth, wanting to do things different. Old people want things done the old way, and they're very reluctant to change the way these politicians are responding to El Salvador. People should be excited and help them. If you're criticizing El Salvador and you're a politician, get the fuck out of your seat and go on an airplane and help them. Help people. Stop talking down about technological change and get the fuck on the road and help people do things better. Anyone that wants to do things different should be supported. Different is what we need because we know that the status quo is not good. Change is inevitable. It must be accepted. Um, Australia leading innovation curve on right now because they lost significant coal generation capacity in the last decade. It's not coming back online. Build solar panels. Turn off the coal-fired power plants. Tell the people that are working them in the plants and the coal mines, get a fucking job. That's what they literally just told millions of people over the last year with the pandemic. Get a fucking job. Tell them to go to school. Tell them to get an education. Tell them to get retraining. Jesus Christ. Change. It's time for change. I am so tired of waking up every day to seeing these old people defend the status quo system. It's time for change. Sorry for showing up late. Glad I was able to catch you live. Thanks for all the great information. You're welcome, Matthew. It'll be a breakthrough if they get it figured out. Yeah, no doubt. Geo certification keeps it out of the U.S. It's already in prod there. International certs apparently not good enough for freest country on the world. No, it's not about certs. It's about protecting the status quo. That's all it is protecting the status quo. That's why they printed all the money because they wanted to keep the status quo banking system functioning. And this entire time that they printed, did they think of a transition period? No, these fucks at the Fed said, oh, it's going to take 5 years to figure out a stablecoin, a CBDC implementation. Oh my God. China is blasting the shit out of the progress of the US with their digital yuan. Other countries around the world are significantly more advanced. Where's the pilot programs, Fed? Where's the testing and experimentation? Do anything. At the point you would say like do something cool. We would love to see something innovative. At this point, the bar is set so low that if they did anything that was remotely interesting or looked exciting or progressive would be like, oh, at least these fucks are doing something. I'm going to wrap up the stream. This has been a very angry stream. Noah, what about accountability? Agency relationship in DC is toast. Term limits, big problem. How about real time tribal governance or on chain? Just, I don't understand why the general public can't vote. Just throw up a page with human readable documentation. Give the old person their UTF device. And grandma says, honey, I like this vote. These young kids got it right. And they clicked the button. I voted. Why the fuck do we need Congress and a House of Representatives when the general public could vote with a U2F device, a digital identity? Save all that money and all those politicians. What a waste of money. Awesome, Noah. Being rational is uncommon. I'm an angry, irrational person, and Terry probably said it best. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. And the least I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speak and talk and try and help people. I'm going to try and help people because most people are probably angry and they don't necessarily understand why they're angry, but I sure as hell damn know why they're angry psychologically, subconsciously, because we're all the same, we're all humans, and just my capacity, my skill is able to articulate the way I feel and the things that I understand from a rational perspective. Anyway, 12:24 p.m. on a Friday, June 11th. As always, I wish everyone a wonderful day. I thank you all for joining me. Check out the Discord forum if you need other rational human beings to have discourse with. We need rational communities, man. Because there's so much irrationality out there. For the love of God, if you're Republican or Democrat, get along. Get along. You have a mother, you have a father, you got kids, you want them to go to school, you want them to be safe. We all have common denominators. Just get along. Treat everyone like they're humans and let's do things differently. I wish everyone a wonderful day, and I will see you again on Monday. Y'all have a good weekend now. Peace.